This meeting has been live streamed.
Cool. Got it.
Do I press?
Oh.
Got it.
Oh,
Got it.
what?
Hello, universe. Okay.
Hi everybody and welcome. Sorry.
The two computers are too close to each other. Yours and Justin's.
Hi everybody and welcome.
His is muted though, so it shouldn't really interfere. That's weird. She's getting so much feedback.
Sorry about that, technical issues once again. Right, welcome to The Right to Screen, everybody. My name is Muriel. I'm going to be your host today, and we have we had the winners of the three winners of the buff script section. Then just one moment. We have Alexis. Hello. And she is the writer of The Burden of Light. We have Hisham.
Hello.
And he is the writer of War Criminal. And we have Stephen.
Hiya.
And he is the writer of I Am Gun. And those are 3 winning scripts this year.
Whoop, whoop, whoop.
And we also have some lovely actors on with us who are going to be reading the parts today. We have Clarissa. Clarissa, do you want to say hi?
Hey, sorry, I didn't hear you then.
We have Jonathan.
Okay, Clarissa.
Oh,
Good
thanks, Siri. Apparently
afternoon.
it's okay to say hi.
Is it good afternoon? Yes, good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon. And then we have Virginia.
Hello.
And we have Clorin.
Hello.
And we have Rike.
Hello.
Yay. All right.
Yay.
Welcome, everybody. And what we're going to do, we're going to go straight into reading the first script. And that one is War Criminal. Virginia, do you want to, when you're ready?
Right. Exterior, Guildford probation officers, day. The Bentley pulls up across the road from the officers. A couple of young lads loiter outside the officers. Chris gets out. Tony holds the door open to speak to Chris.
Remember what I said. You got a job interview at the pub, washing up. Monday to Saturday, living. Try to get you out of having to come back here again.
Gotcha. Cheers.
Listen, I ain't waiting. I'm going to keep driving around the block till you get out. You got a phone?
No.
Tony reaches for his phone.
Actually, hey, Hass, give him your phone.
Look for you, Tony. Look for Tony in the contacts.
Where have you gone?
You give him your phone.
Oh, there we are. Just give him your phone. He'll only be 5 minutes.
Look for Tony in the contacts.
You get stuck, you give us a ring, all right?
Aye. See you in a bit.
Tony shuts the door and the car drives off. Chris walks across the road into the door of the probation building. He presses the intercom buzzer.
Hello,
Hello, Chris Turner for probation meeting.
who have you come to see?
I don't know, it's my first visit.
Come on in. Up the stairs to your left.
The door buzzes open and Chris enters. Interior, probation officer's day. Chris walks up the stairs and looks to his left. He sees the reception desk. The receptionist points to Chris.
Chris Turner,
Yeah.
down the hall. Last door on your right, go straight in.
Chris sheepishly nods and walks down the hall. He sees the last door on the right and opens it. Interior, probation office, day. Chris enters the room from nowhere. Chris is struck in the stomach by the clenched fist of Kathy, the girl he punched in the bar.
Fuck's sake.
You fucking prick. Why'd you have to hit me so hard?
What? Fucking loon.
Paddy, the old Irishman from the pub, is sat behind the desk in a suit. He speaks with a well-spoken English accent.
Calm down, both of you. Keep your voices down.
I've been in agony all night while you were getting drunk and humping bar girls.
You said to make you look real.
I said make it look real, not fucking feel real.
Aye, sorry.
Fuck your sorries.
How long have we got, Sergeant?
5 minutes.
Kathy, check the device.
Chris takes off his iWatch and hands it to Kathy. Kathy plugs it into a laptop.
What was that with your fucking accent? You went from Belfast to Dublin to Lucky Charms.
Let it be, Chris. We're good. We're all good. My plan is working beautifully. I just heard the conversation in the car. You don't get much deeper cover than that.
Don't get much deeper. He's my fucking brother. I feel like a Judas, man.
Stop moaning.
I need a debrief, Sergeant. Weapons.
Only one seen Glock 17, 2 magazines.
Serial number?
Didn't have the opportunity to look.
Drugs?
Nothing.
Nothing more? No long guns?
Batons, CS gas, a knuckle duster, but no other firearms.
Now look harder. Our source says they're there.
Who's your source?
I honestly don't know, but you've met them.
Huh? When?
Well, I don't know, but I received a text last night saying, and I quote, "Your boy looks good."
What? Is that it?
Use your noggin, you idiot. It's a girl.
You're setting me up on a word of an informer you've never met.
No, Chris, I'm setting you up to help us stop a drug syndicate responsible for more than 300 OD deaths in 6 years. That's one a week, Chris.
Did you really sell Italian seasoning to the posh kids?
Yeah.
More of that reminiscing, more stories, and he will spill his modus operandi to you. He is so close, he just needs that little push.
Then what?
Then we take them with guns and product, preferably. But you know the guns are the primary. Stolen military ordnance will not be tolerated on the streets.
And what if I just find the drugs?
I need the guns, Chris. Fuck the drugs, fuck the junkies. I can give two shits about the deaths. Good riddance to them. You get me the guns and I go easy on your brother. But if anyone gets shot or injured by those weapons, then you and him will end your days inside together.
How long did you have it on charge for?
I don't know, 4 or 5 hours maybe.
It's not enough. It's drawing too much power on constant transmit. I'm going to give you another watch with full battery. It's exactly the same, set up to just listen and transmit. But you're going to have to come back tomorrow for another one.
Tomorrow.
If so, then it must be done.
We can't risk you missing something important.
So, is nothing else?
This morning he got a package, some betting slips. Tommy said to tell Tony that Jock won him $3 on a bet.
Now, I heard that. That could be code for McGrath in Glasgow. $3 could be 3 kilos. Look into it. McGrath is part of the syndicate, and 40% of the deaths have happened in Scotland.
But how can you be sure it's Tony?
Each batch of fentanyl has a unique chemical signature, and all roads lead back to Tony and the syndicate.
There is a beep on a walkie-talkie behind Paddy. Exterior probation officers, day. One of the young men loitering is smoking a cigarette and watches as the Bentley approaches across the road again. The young man speaks into a hidden handpiece microphone. We hear it is Squaddy Tooth in the day before.
The wolf is back. I repeat, the wolf is back.
The Bentley drives away. Interior probation office, 9. Paddy raises his finger as he looks at the walkie-talkie.
The wolf has departed. I repeat, the wolf has departed.
Paddy looks at his watch.
Kathy, hurry up with that. I want him out in 2.5 minutes.
Fuck's sake, can't deal with the stress, man.
Rubbish, man. You've handled far worse stress than this. You've spent 4 tours in hostile territory, been blown from a jackal, had to fight for your life. If things get heavy, Chris, just breathe. Remember your training. We spent enough on it.
Things you made me do.
Couple more days and you're done. You get a full pardon, honourable discharge, back pay for 7.5 years, and a full pension at the rank of colour sergeant.
A 30 piece of silver. I ain't doing it for that. I'm doing it for Tony. That's the deal.
Kathy hands Chris a new watch, exactly the same as the old one.
Not bad for a convicted war criminal.
Eat shit, man.
Sleeve up, sergeant.
Kathy gets a hypodermic needle ready.
What, again?
You need the naltrexone. It will keep you sharp just in case.
It didn't work, man. I told you, it just made me sick.
Everything has its limits, Chris. I think you drank well beyond its expected capabilities.
Chris starts to roll up his sleeve. Kathy takes joy in jabbing Chris through his clothes straight into his shoulder. Chris winces as she depresses the plunger.
Ah, you bitch.
Look who's talking. Super quick fuck as well, aren't you? Bet she didn't even feel a thing.
Chris sneers and rolls his sleeve down.
What happened to Mike?
About that, he presented to the Royal Surrey Hospital at 3 a.m. this morning with a shattered hand.
Did he say anything?
He said he fell. Who was the one who hit him?
Sounded like you.
If he said he fell, then it doesn't matter now, does it? Now hurry up.
Paddy nods. Paddy writes on a piece of paper and hands it to Chris.
This is your appointment slip for tomorrow. Just tell them you have to come back for a piss test. They'll buy that. You have your orders now dismissed.
Chris takes the piece of paper and walks out. Paddy smiles and shakes his head.
I don't like him, sir.
You'll get me what I want. He's still a soldier.
Paddy gets the walkie-talkie and speaks into it.
Send the corporal up.
Exterior probation officer's day. The cigarette-smoking young man nods to his friend in a baseball cap, and we see it as the corporal.
He wants you upstairs.
The corporal walks to the door and enters as Chris is walking out. He shoulder barges Chris as he passes. Baby killer. Chris keeps walking and crosses the road to wait at where he was dropped off. Chris looks down the road, waiting for Tony's car. He watches as the car comes up the road. In the distance, he sees something. His eyes strain as he tries to focus on it. A young boy in a traditional Afghani dress with an embroidered waistcoat and hat. Chris sees the boy skip across the road, turn back and smile like a happy child. Tony pulls up to the pavement, opens the door as Chris looks up the road.
Hey, get in. What'd you see?
Chris comes back to the present.
What? Nothing.
Then what you waiting for? Get in.
Interior Bentley, day. Tony looks hyped up like he's just had a line or two of coke. Chris gets in and passes Haas back his phone.
Hey, what did they say? What did they say?
Nothing. Just an introduction. I gotta come back tomorrow for some fucking piss test.
Who's your probation officer? Is it that nun or that little gay fella?
I don't know. I'll find out tomorrow. I think they haven't got all my paperwork in yet.
Oh, yeah, all that fucking red tape, man.
Interior Probation Office. Kathy, Paddy and the corporal are listening to the live transmission on Kathy's laptop. The laptop app says it's recording.
We'll come back tomorrow, and when you know who you get, I'll speak to Helen, and then I'll see what she can do.
Sounds good.
That's good. Well done, Chris.
I bet that Helen's the grass. She's got her drink driving case up in 4 weeks.
Possibly. So what do you think, Corporal?
I think he's weak, sir, lacking in moral fibre. He violently assaulted 2 people, had sex with 1 and puked up half a dozen times. Either way, we should keep him on or he'll just fuck and drink himself stupid. So.
Keep your men on alert. We're not going to wait if we get the opportunity to jump. Once we get the location of the weapons, we go in and we go in hard. We're dealing with military-trained adversaries with high-end weapons.
Understood, sir. My men are ready and able. Paddy nods. The voices start on the laptop again. Everyone looks at the laptop.
Tone.
Yeah, what?
Interior Bentley, day. Tony's rubbing his nostrils and looking at Chris.
While we're here, bro, can we go see the house?
My house? No way, mate. It's a fucking war zone.
Nah, man. The house. Our old house.
Oh, shit. Yeah, fuck it. Has, take us to Woodbridge Road.
Haas looks back in his mirror at Chris. Chris sees him looking.
Yeah.
Oh.
Go on.
Oh, thank you. That was lovely. Cheers for doing that. It's lovely to hear it vocalized. Yeah, you all did really good. Cheers. I could really see that.
That's cool.
Okay, now we're going to go in and read The Burden of Light.
Nice. Okay. Interior abandoned apartment bedroom, late morning. A phone rings. Designer clothing bags and dry cleaning bags are on a new bed. In a 1930s jumpsuit, Anu answers her phone.
Hello?
Bonjour, I'm replying to an email from an Anu Cavell.
Yes.
Sorry.
Is this?
Sorry, everyone. Can we just pause a second and take that from the top? I just need to.
This meeting is being recorded.
Sorry about that. Okay. Can we go from the top again, please? Sorry.
Okay. Interior abandoned apartment bedroom, late morning. A phone rings. Designer clothing bags and dry cleaning bags are on a new bed. In a 1930s jumpsuit, Anu answers her phone.
Hello?
Bonjour, I'm replying to an email from an Anu Cavell.
Yes. Is this André Allion?
Oui, you're related to Hélène Cavell?
I am. Could we meet?
Are you free this afternoon at 1?
Yes, that's fine. Where?
I will text you an address.
All right. I'll be there.
Interior upscale cafe, afternoon. Alexandre Allion, 50s, and with an Etienne-like quality, watches several women walk in. Anu enters and walks over.
Alexandre?
Alexandre stands up. He is awestruck by her presence.
Oui, Anu?
Yes. Bonjour.
Bonjour.
They shake hands. He motions to a chair and they sit down.
How did you find me?
I found an old address book with Etienne's information
Where?
in an apartment near Opera.
A waiter, 40s, puts a cup of coffee in front of Alexandre.
Un café, s'il vous plaît. My great aunt died about a year ago and left the apartment to me.
She was living in Paris?
No one's been inside since.
1939?
I didn't know about it until after she died. I've just started going through it.
What did she tell you about my grandfather?
Nothing. I'd never heard about him.
She never spoke of him?
No, but I learned they were engaged before the war.
Engaged before the war?
The waiter puts down Anu's coffee.
Merci. What do you know about Hélène?
Well, nothing perhaps. I have photographs of a woman, but I don't know who she was. I don't have a name.
Alexandre shows her a photograph of Hélène on his cell phone.
Is this your great aunt?
Yes, that's her. Are there others?
Yes.
Could I see them?
Alexandre takes out a business card and hands it to her.
I work in Paris, but I won't be in the office for another week. I'll be at our house in Fontainebleau. The photographs are there. If you'd like, you can come down. I'll show you what I have. There's a direct train. It's only an hour each way.
Interior, Gray's apartment kitchen, early evening. As Gray cooks, Anu takes bowls and glasses out of a cabinet.
Go with you.
No, it's okay. I'll be fine.
You just met him though.
I'm not worried.
Gray and Anu leave with the glasses, silverware, and napkins. Interior, Gray's apartment living room, continuous. Anu and Gray set the table. Anu looks at the Isabel paintings that loom above them.
Have you thought about what you'll paint next?
I've been playing around with ideas.
Great. What or who will you paint?
I haven't landed on a subject as yet.
When did you last paint?
I did these 3 years ago.
Have you done anything since?
No,
Maybe it's time to take them down. Paint the walls. Start fresh. Hang something else there. Open
Gray
yourself
looks up at
back
Anu
up
with a
to
sudden
the
mild shock.
hang yourself up. Something else there. Open yourself back up to the possibility,
of what? Love?
or at least a new muse.
I'm not sure if I'd want one.
Doesn't every great artist require one?
I'm not sure if I qualify.
Why would you say that? You're so talented. Your style, it is so varied. It changes with every painting.
Does it?
Anu motions to two different paintings.
Now this is far more detailed, while this has more abstract elements, almost impressionistic. You mix different styles, ways of painting.
Well, my eyesight has changed over the years.
How so?
I just see things differently.
Gray goes into the kitchen. Anu watches Gray before looking at the Isabel paintings. She then looks in the studio. Interior, Gray's apartment studio, continuous. Anu walks in and sees the Anu sketches above a work table. On the table is a larger finished study of Anu. She turns on the table lamp. There is a blank canvas on an easel. Gray walks in and approaches Anu, who looks over her shoulder.
Did you do these from memory?
Yeah,
Could I have one?
pick whichever one you want.
Anu looks at the Anu sketches before pointing to one. Gray takes it down and hands it to her. He hesitantly kisses her. Exterior, Fontainebleau train station, Fontainebleau afternoon. Anu walks out of the station. Alexandre stands by a BMW. Anu smiles, but Alexandre barely returns the smile. Interior BMW, exterior road, montage, Fontainebleau afternoon. Alexandre and Anu drive through the countryside. Anu watches the fields pass by until a beautiful villa appears. Interior BMW, exterior villa, Fontainebleau afternoon. Alexandre and Anu drive up to the villa. Interior, villa entry hall, Fontainebleau afternoon. A large wooden front door opens. Light spills across a stone floor in a large entry hall. Alexandre and Anu walk in.
Your home is beautiful.
Merci.
As they walk across the hall, Anu looks up at a wide staircase that curves down to the hall floor.
The Nazis took it over during the war. Took years to repair everything.
Interior villa sitting room, Fontainebleau afternoon. Anu pulls the love letters out of a manila envelope as Alexandre walks in and puts a large hat box on the table.
I brought the letters.
Alexandre glances at the letters before opening the hat box. Anu peers inside and finds large format photographs.
I found them after my grandmother died.
Anu lays out several portraits of Hélène on the table.
I always thought she didn't like being in front of the camera. I have very few photos of her.
Manon Allion, 40s, refined and stern, walks in and faintly smiles at Anu before glancing at the photographs. You look very much the same.
Merci.
Do you need anything?
No, we are fine right now.
Manon leaves. Anu looks at the photos of Alexandre, looks at the letters.
What was he like?
I don't know. My father only knew him as a child.
Did he die young?
No, he left.
He left. What do you mean? When?
I think sometime before 1946.
Do you know what happened to him?
No, we went to the police over the years, looked into accidents, hired a few people, nothing. We thought he left for her.
Alexandre lifts the letters.
Did she marry?
No.
Interior, villa sitting room, Fontainebleau, montage, afternoon. As Anu looks through the photos, Alexandre reads the letters. Interior, villa sitting room, Fontainebleau, afternoon. Anu looks out of the French doors that lead outside.
Would you like to see the grounds?
Yes, I would.
Anu follows Alexandre out the doors. Exterior, villa garden, Fontainebleau, afternoon. Alexandre and Anu walk through the beautiful villa garden.
How long are you going to be in Paris?
I don't know. There's still a lot to do. There's the whole life there.
Anu stops walking and looks at the villa. Alexandre stops.
You truly have a beautiful home.
Merci. Would you want the photographs?
You'd give them to me?
I really don't care to have them anymore.
Are you sure?
Alexandre nods and continues walking. Anu follows.
That was brilliant. Thank you, everybody. Okay. Now we're going to have a presentation. We're going to have third script is from Stephen Graham. So he's created a short for it. So we're going to show that now. Sorry, just while I set that up, do any of the actors want to say anything about the 2 scripts that they've read?
That was a good experience, man.
They were so vastly different, weren't they? I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. So, but really lovely, really flowing dialogue. Very nice.
And I wanted more.
I know. I want to know.
You want to know what's happening next. Really gripping.
Any of the actors want to say anything about the 2 scripts that they've read?
That was a good experience, man.
They were so vastly different, weren't they? I mean,
Yeah.
Who's watching it on YouTube?
it's like hearing echoes, isn't it? Here we go. Echoes of what's going on.
Yeah, no, the scripts are good, man. Although
Great,
I got
yeah.
lost in my one after the first line, but then I came
Yeah.
back. But yeah, it was good. Same kind of thing.
Really,
just kind
really
of wanted
punchy.
more.
That first one was very punchy.
Yeah.
Really hit home. Really hit home. And the other one had a delicacy to it. Really nice.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Really beautiful delicacy to it.
Mm.
Totally different. I mean, absolutely. One flashing forward and loads of impact, and the other much more gentle.
Yeah. What happened to Etienne?
Yeah.
What was the story? It's intriguing.
Yeah.
I'm upset that we don't get to read Stephen's one now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no,
I'm ready to go again. He's
Yeah,
made
I'm
the short
looking-
already.
Looking forward to the animation still, yeah. 100%.
We should.
Now, credit to both Alexis and forgot your name because you got Justin up. You got on mute.
Hisham?
Hisham.
Hashem.
Right. Hisham.
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 Credit to both. of
Hisham,
them.
is he here? Is he with us? Is he
Yeah, it's me.
Yeah, he's here.
He's Justin.
Where? Who's Hisham?
He's on Justin's.
Why are you called Justin Chimri?
Yeah, no, I changed my name recently.
Hisham, well done, mate. Really nice. Really
Oh,
nice.
thanks. I really appreciate you all taking the time on that.
Thanks, man.
It's really good.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
Have
again,
you
sorry,
guys
Hisham.
written the full length? Or is it just an excerpt? Or have you guys actually written the full feature?
Oh,
I've
yeah,
written the
but-
full feature.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
all finished
wonderful.
features.
Oh, they
They've all-
are. Oh,
Yeah, and they're all one.
well, you might have to send us them and we can finish it off because I want to know what happens.
Oh, I thought you would have got the whole thing.
Yeah.
No, we only have a taste.
No.
Oh,
We just get a little taste of
We
it.
only have a taste. We've got to make our own decisions about exactly what's going on ourselves. So
Yeah.
this is-
Oh, what shame? Because the bit you did of mine was just oh
Oh,
What happened there?
yeah, the bit you did of
Always-
mine was like kind of like a twist part, but the build up to it was really good, and afterwards it just changes completely.
Wow.
And yeah, if you'd like to, if I can get your details of
Well, I
just
was looking forward to doing an Irish accent with it, just out
Yeah,
loud
no,
for you,
really
so
was.
That would have been nice.
Hi,
Right.
everyone.
Get a
Sorry.
chance to
Thank
do
you.
that.
if I get your details of Justin, I'll send you the script.
Oh, yeah, man, that'll be good. Thank you.
Thanks.
So we're gonna
Put your mute again, yeah.
please, no, thanks. We're gonna show Stephen's short now for I Am Gun.
Very dark.
So we're gonna
Me and my brethren watch me. Take it, my yo. Take it, man. Let me tell you what I mean. Someone owe me some money. Take it off now, throw it on the floor. Man, an idiot. He's a liquor boy. Too much music video got man all gassed. Remember what the big man said? Street culture's autistic now. Rappers are the new gangsters. Rude boys are the new informers, blood. Well, I'm to you.
Don't kill me, please.
Yo, at least let the girl in now. Live. You're a comedian.
Being in the wrong place at the wrong time and dating the wrong kind of man had cost an innocent woman her life. She wasn't the first and won't be the last.
May I sit, please? I'm Derek.
Hi, Derek. I'm Rachel. I'm Maya.
Hey, Maya.
From underneath like a sweaty garment, I listened as Cassandra went on and on about Danger and I. Only if she could truly understand his mentality, would truly comprehend why he chose to carry me. Danger was psychologically in love with us both. That's right. She shared him with me. We both have the power to please him. The only difference is she helped him create life. And I helped him take it.
Take what you want. These 2 9s are me.
So what, fam? Who gassed them up to get so brave?
Where you from, cuz?
Not from these ends.
The volume's gone.
You've muted. You're muted.
Yeah, I lost the volume.
Into me, yeah?
I'd
Put your hands
rewind a
up in
bit,
the air.
Muriel.
Get on your knee.
Anyone. His hands are pure. They have never seen blood. Well, not yet. I have felt many hands like these and have removed their innocence, staining them, washing them in the blood of men, removing their purity, giving them new life on a dark road to nowhere.
What? You man thinking I'm moving to me, yeah? Put your hands up in the air and get on your knees. Don't move.
Knives, such an easy, accessible tool. Unlike myself, they weren't made for war, but make great comrades in battle. Knife crime is on the rise, no doubt. Definitely something to be fearful of.
Rah, kitchen knife. You saying playing, looking to butcher something tonight, and you chose me.
Pull the trigger, kill another. The streets don't make guns, but here I am, ready to help you destroy your community. Life is a journey with many roads. Some people learn with the right road. Stop this body postcodes. Stop these negative modes. Think about the right way. Don't go astray. The right way. With no delay. The right way. Don't follow hearsay, cause somebody might get slayed. Yeah. Show your negative mind. Think positive in this time. Show your negative mind. There must be something you can design. Show your negative mind. Obstacles in your way, just follow the sign. Show your negative mind. You may have to trouble yourself and move on. No, before it's too late.
There are a lot of damaged goods out there, and I'm not just referring to us women, but you have a lot of damaged men too.
Damaged in what way?
Emotionally, mentally. Just like how a lot of women are scared from relationships or childhood, you have brothers who are scared from childhood too. Everyone has faced some sort of trauma to some degree. It's how you deal with it at the end of the day. Like no dad around, stressed out mothers, children psychologically feeling neglected, yet physically don't understand why they're so bitter, angry or confused. Respect to some step-parents, but then some can do more damage than good. Siblings bullying sibling rivalry. Then you got external issues, social confusion, which thrive off of the internal family politics. Enough youths don't feel like they fit into society, so they choose another road, then death or increased incarceration follows. But is it that they can't fit into society, or is it an illusion that's painted for them to inspire to?
Right, Maya, that's deep. You see, proper conscious still.
Jolting. We as a people, we are really messed up.
It's so true what you're saying still. Enough youths are on road and some of them don't even need to be.
It's by choice, at the same time by design.
I agree.
I took an instant dislike to the she-devil. She was problematic, I could tell. Who the hell does she think she is? The Queen of Sheba, entertaining King Solomon? Black as a killer, a cold-hearted murderer. And that's all Blacker is good for. Does she think she can win his heart? It belongs to me.
Stop the fool is talking up. I'm gonna make it right now in my youth. But the foolishness, man.
Man, them quiet. Maya's calling. Wagwan, babe. All in a second. We're watching a movie at my bedroom yard. Let me leave the room so they can unmute the TV.
Tell Maya me I hear her.
Shaggy said, Wagwan. What are you up to, babe?
Just wondering what time you'll be home. I know what it's like sometimes when you lot get together.
I watched Shaggy and Dean disappear out of sight. It dawned on me that I would die alone. They said your life flashes before your eyes in your dying moments. Whoever says so were correct. Thoughts of Maya, my sister Cassandra, my nephew Malachi running through my mind. Most importantly, the thoughts of my life and how I lived it troubled me.
Like any instrument of destruction, I gave full strength and faith. He found religion in me. I made him feel strong in a way no man could. I made people fear him, yet he is weak. But with me, stronger than 13 bodybuilders.
Hello? What? What you saying? What you telling me? Them boy dead. I'm gonna kill every one of them in a block. Swear to God, I'm gonna kill them all.
Yo, cool down now. Wagwan, King. Yo, Wagwan. Tell me Wagwan.
Nah, blood.
Yo, give me the phone, youth. How this? Wagwan.
What you saying, blacks? I'm good, cuz. I got a sports bag full of your thing. You gonna come for it?
What doesn't he understand about getting a criminal record? How that can mess up his papers? Damn fool. About he's going South Kilburn to see Shaggy. Watch when he gets home.
My babes, you know what to do, innit? Come on.
Where's his keys? Hope he hasn't lost his keys, idiot.
Yo, Blacks, where you at?
Stonebridge with Shaggy. Soon come back to the ends. Why? What's up?
My cousin just shot me saying he knows where to find them yard youths that lit down Danger.
Keep the chest pumped. Summer look. Yeah, Black. She's my baby here. She's shooting fools. And there ain't no cure in the clinic when this bad girl touch up, boy.
That is what carrying a gun or a knife bring. You're lucky, prison.
Thank you. Right, so how does it feel to have your script read out, Alexis?
Oh, hello. It's the first time I've actually heard it read out by actors. So thank you first very much for doing such a wonderful job. And I think as a writer, you're never 100% sure how the words are going to flow and how things are going to pull together. And having Jonathan say that it was gentle and soft, and that they were able to capture that and bring that across, and actually in a few pages realize that the movie is a very soft, quiet romance, means a lot to me as a writer, because then it means that I actually may have succeeded in doing what I was trying to do, which was say a very quiet, love story.
Hmm.
So to me, it was wonderful hearing it be read out loud. So thank you.
Brilliant.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for writing it. I mean,
Yes, thank
you
you.
cared about the characters as well. I mean, it was meaningful, and I wanted to know what happened next.
And I look,
could feel the passion.
I've lived with it for 12 years actually. And I moved to Paris to write it. And I lived there for 7.5 years. So I could actually write it from a real American's point of view of coming to a country, not understanding it, learning the language, being a stranger, being a foreigner. And after 12 years of really working on it off and on, to finally have it out there and to have someone like yourself and to have Buff accept it.
Yeah, they're lovely. Yeah.
It's like 12 years we're not away. So
Wow.
Well done.
it's thank you.
Script seen by everybody. Your short seen by everybody, and see how it's been received. Stephen?
Oh, you're on mute, Stephen. Oh, there you go.
Sorry. So you were saying?
How does it feel to have your short seen by everybody and see how it's been received?
It feels good. It feels good that, you know, people say, I just want to hear what people's feedback is in regards to the film. It's very important and touching to me still, because like I said, the kind of work I do with young people and families, and I see a lot of traumas day in and day out. So it's nice to at the same time, me just do what I've done it well. I like to hear what you guys, you know.
Can I ask where you get the actors for it? Because they were really good and terrifying. Really, that voice, that style is so scary, man. You can, if I saw that would terrify living daylights out of me.
Some
voice.
Some of those local guys on the streets, some are actually rappers, are known rappers.
Right. Yeah.
Famous rappers and famous UK rappers, and some are just guys from the streets, like, you know.
Really good.
Up to.
No, it was very accurate, man, in terms of the depiction and what you was trying to showcase. I could see the turmoil, the whole struggle that is going on in regards to the brotherhood and all of that relationships, and of course with the relationship with his missus and how that translates into the hood life. Like, there's a lot of things that you could take away from that, which is good, and it's just giving them again back, you know, going back to your line of work. It then gives people that focal point to think twice about what they're thinking about going into and pursuing, which is right. And you hit the nail on the head with that script, man. It was good. Very well done. Very well written.
That don't know, what was the inspiration? I'm going to come to all of you, the writers, and ask this just because we've had a conversation off camera, but for those who are tuning in, what was the inspiration behind your short, behind your script?
Myself?
Yeah, Stephen, start with
having my own personal experience as well on the streets as well, growing up before I started my own company, and having a successful mentoring company, and also I do documentaries and film production. Before I started my own stuff, I had my own troubles, and seeing a lot of young people going through what they're going through, and understand the psychological impact of violence, you know, because we look at the physical, but there's a psychological impact that's even deeper, hence why I named it I'm a Gun, looking at it from a gun perspective, giving a gun character, personality. And the aim is to let people really understand the psychological impact of what they do and have a deeper look at themselves and a deeper look at life. You know, and as a deterrent, and more also as a wanting to others people to self-reflect and look at what they do and how it impacts them and impacts others. Also, for me, that was something really important to me, that I shared that. And like I said, my personal experience on the streets as well, and as well as the work I do, you know, I just think it's so vital. Because every day in and day out, you know, more and more young people are losing their lives, and parents as well. And a lot of parents are burying their kids, you know. So it's something I'm really passionate about, to make that change.
Can't hear them, bro.
Can't hear me?
You can now.
Sorry. Alexis, can I ask you about yourself and what was the inspiration behind your script?
I was living in Los Angeles. I'm actually in Texas right now visiting my mom, but I live in LA, and it was 2010, and I saw an article about an apartment that had actually been found in Paris that hadn't been open since 1940, and about the woman that had left, and it was open in 2010 and it had never been open. And I was thinking, well, that's an interesting idea. And I saw 2 photographs from this article, and I took everything about this actual story and I threw it out the window. And I said, I'm going to do something about these 2 photographs. And I created this story about Hélène, who left before World War II started, and how her great niece came to find this apartment after she died. And I think a lot of the inspiration was my dad was a World War II refugee from Latvia and came to America. And so a lot of my interest in World War II is the fact that people leave, and that what the war did to people, and how it doesn't just affect people that are ancestors of people, but also the stories that we barely hear about, because there's an entire story in there of why Etienne and Hélène actually didn't get married that pertains to the war. So World War II has always been something that has been close to home for me, because my dad lived through the Berlin bombings. And when he went from Latvia, he went to Berlin. Great way to try to get out of Stalin's way. And then to Austria, to America. So World War II has always been fascinating about the survivors for me. And so I mixed it with this idea of an absolutely stunning apartment, and why would someone leave Paris of all places?
So Hélène wasn't Jewish?
No, she wasn't, but there is a character in there,
Right.
her best friend who's Jewish, that we haven't met yet.
Okay.
And so they're, without spilling the beans, people have to make a decision on how to save the lives of people that they love. And it's
Sure.
about giving up things that make you happy to protect the people you love. Is your
Right.
happiness more important than your best friend's life?
I really would have loved to have read the entire script just to get a really proper feel for it, but I loved the extract. But I was kind of convinced that Hélène was Jewish and had to get out before she was taken out, because I grew up in France, and one of my parents' friends had been in the Resistance in Paris, and she'd actually worked for the SNCF, and she would leak information to the Allies about what troop ships were leaving, and they actually found her, and she had to escape. I mean, it's amazing that she'd survived.
Yes.
But I just knew that there were an awful lot of underground escape routes. And, I just wondered what the story was, how Hélène had gone, why she'd gone, what the relationship with Etienne was. And you just left wanting to know so much more.
Oh, that's good. Because
really
I do
gripping. Thank you.
Oh, good. Because I do feel that I wanted to look at I can echo. Oh, hello. Looking at the realities of World War II, I didn't want to do it in a way that was so cliche. And my attempt at doing it was like, don't make it that it's, because as writers, you always want to kind of go outside and do something that people are like, oh, I didn't see that coming. So doing something that for me was about sacrifice. It's really about sacrifice and giving up your happiness for others, and taking, because my great uncle was French, a diplomat who was with de Gaulle. So a lot of the things that I understand about that gave me a lot of information about the time period, and he was Jewish. So it's just all these little bits and pieces that you don't want to be so direct, but kind of play with that is respectful to the time and to the Jewish community.
course.
Very respectful. It's key.
Well done, man. Well done. You did good.
Thank you.
Sorry, I'm going to ask you. I'm going to ask you about yourself and how you came to write this script and how your story came about.
Yeah, I've been writing for a long time. This was this year's project for me. I started in March, I think March or April. And yeah, and as soon as I finished it, I was just like, yeah, I really like it. I'm gonna send this one off to some competitions, and it's done really well this year, and you know, really chuffed with it. And yes, based on a mixture of real things going on and you know, real things that have happened, my real experiences, and things that I've heard of, and just mixed it all together to make an interesting and exciting story. And yeah, that's basically it, really. You know, really enjoyed the process, really enjoyed the finished product, and yeah, and it's kind of like playing with mixing genres, and started off as a thriller and then pretty much ends up as a romantic comedy, and you know, and that just really cheers me and makes me laugh, you know, constantly. And I put in some killer jokes in there, which there were none in that scene that you read, really, but hopefully you'll get to read it in full, and it'll make you giggle.
Yeah,
that's about it, really. Is that all right?
So for the people who don't know, because we've only read this excerpt of it,
Yeah.
you want to expand on what the story is?
Well, basically, it's the story of a guy who gets out of prison. He's an ex-soldier, ex-Royal Marine, and he was found guilty of an incident in overseas and considered a war crime. He shot somebody he shouldn't have, or should he? It's kind of like debatable in the story. And it was a young Afghan boy. But later on in the story, you realise that it was with reason that it happened. And he gets out. He's gutted about the incident and is searching for redemption and forgiveness. And when he gets out of prison, he tries to reconnect with his brother from a children's home, like a Dr. Bernardo's home. And since, you know, being away, being in prison, being in the military, his brother has become a big-time gangster. Yeah, and everybody's after his brother, the police and his oppositions, and you know, other gangs. So it's like a, you know, really busy crime thriller. And in the midst of it, he finds a woman and falls in love, and yeah, it leads to quite an exciting ending, which I can't wait for you to read. But yeah, I just enjoy writing things that are fun and that I want to watch, and kind of moralistic as well. You know, a bit like Stephen, I don't, you know, want to do something good with my skills. I don't want to, you know, glorify violence when there's so much of it about, and I'd rather do something helpful and moralistic. And yeah, that's about it, really. I can't say much more. Okay. Thank you all.
Question to Hisham and to Stephen.
Yep.
How do you toe that line between glorifying violence and educating to say this is something that shouldn't be done, and everything that, and how do you feel responsible for the second half of the question is also for Alexa as well? How do you take on that responsibility of showing what you show for the people that you're representing? So, Stephen, if you can answer.
I didn't hear that all properly. You was echoing. Didn't hear it all.
Yeah.
So can you repeat that again, please? Is she there?
She's there. She just can't hear us. Well, she can hear us. Hear her.
We can't hear you, Muriel.
Muriel.
Oh, nice.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Loudly. Yes.
Stephen, can we have a sound check? See if we can hear you.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah,
Very clearly.
I just couldn't hear what
Muriel said.
Muriel said. Yeah, I couldn't hear what Muriel said.
No, I couldn't. Did anyone get that?
I guess maybe as writers, the two gentlemen, how do you, if I understood her correctly, with the way you're writing and what topic you're writing about, how do you toe that line in talking about violence and not maybe glorifying violence, but utilizing it as a tool of education and as entertainment versus education?
Yeah. Lovely said. Yeah, thumbs up. You got the thumbs up. I would say like I'm very passionate about what I do, and I want to make sure when I'm doing it, it's hard hitting, but at the same time, people can really understand that it's not glorifying in the sense of it's not showing though you see violent scenes, but you're not gonna see. There's always a story inside of whatever I'm showing. More than this actually just doing it like it's for glamorization. It's more, there's always a story and an underlining also an underlining well, what's the right word? It's for me it's like when I'm writing something about street life, I don't like to leave out the reality of what's going on, but at the same time I want to make the underlying issue be known of. And also like placing in there, I would say like oh my God, I lost the words. The right placing in there the right message, just say the message, the right message that people can take from it, from then just looking at it like say, okay, well, this is violent. Like for instance, with mine, I wrote about the gun. From a gun perspective, I gave the gun a character, personality. And for people to realize that, okay, when you pick up the weapon, understand what it's doing for you and what you're doing to others. So psychologically, the gun's in control, not you. It's not you here leading this, though you might be pulling the trigger. But again, would you be doing this, or would you approach a person if you had never had the weapon in your hand? So the storyline with the gun is like, I'm constantly giving, like I said, even knife crimes on the rise. They make great comrades. You know, so it's looking at the reality of what's going on, the reality of knife crime, gun crime, but understanding the psychological impact of these things. And are you really in control, or is it in control of you? You know, it's giving people something to really then think about, you know, when they're picking up a weapon, you know, understanding that when you're not in a fixed state of mind, rage, anger, all those elements, all those emotions, they're not your natural emotion in it. So it's like, it's looking at beyond the bigger picture of just making a video and showing violence, showing guns, but understanding the storyline behind it. That's what I'm really talking about. Like the underlying storyline is important, that that's shown, and then people can then grasp and understand. I mean, you can't change everyone, but you will definitely tap into some people's mindsets and let them understand the bigger picture and what's really going on. And then getting them to then self-analyze and think about things and look at their own perspective, even the people who's not involved in that, just to understand it from the next perspective, instead of looking at it and say, oh, well, those guys are violent, but why are they violent? What's going on? What's happening? What's the underlying issues, the causes, the effects? And this is where we get changes when you look at the deeper picture and look at holistic picture. So for me, when I do those things, I always have those kinds of intentions in my mind when I'm creating a story about violence or street life or anything. It's looking at the underlying issues. That's what I was looking at. That's what I was talking about. So yeah.
Exactly what Stephen said. You know, and also that you know, every action has consequences, yeah, just you know, as much as I like action, there's some action that is without remorse that I find unforgivable, and does that you know, educate the young into thinking that, yeah, it's really easy to blow people away like John Wick or something, and he doesn't have remorse, so why should I? And you know, that just kind of makes me shiver a bit. There's so many films that I see and just think, oh, what about that poor man's mummy? I bet she's gutted now. And you know, and I just try to write something in a film that shows that there is consequences to actions, and you know, long-lasting consequential actions, consequences, you know, to certain things. Yeah, we should be aware of that, and that should be shown in films, not just killing 200 people with pistols and driving off to the next film. I just think, you know, it gets a bit ridiculous. And what kind of message does that send to the children? Oh, hey, come and watch this movie. Look, he kills shitloads of people, and you know, goes on to the next one. And you know, even a slap, even a punch can have long-lasting consequences on somebody. And you know, I know from experience, you know, experiencing all sorts of things. And you know, I wasn't a saint in my childhood either. So and I just know, you know, I've sort of forgiveness for a lot of the things I've done when I was a kid. And you know, that should be a major thing for people, is to, you know, do right and be a good example. Be a good example to your community, to your country, to the youth, to everybody. And you know, that's what I try to write about. That's it.
So, question for everybody, all the writers, sorry. What is your process like when it comes to writing?
Yep. I'll just start quickly because mine's really quickly. I'm a gardener, not a engineer or whatever they say. I just plant a seed and just let it grow on paper, let my characters grow, and you know, theme, story and plot come from the start of the character for me, and that's it. And it's really easy for me to write, and you know, really enjoy the process. But I'm not a, you know, sticky note kind of person, or something. I'll just, you know, start off with a character and add another character and let them build and create the characters as I go along. That's it.
Alexis?
Oh boy, process. I'm a little bit all over the place, actually. I will go from, I journal like mad. I journal every day. And so I will write for hours in the morning, and I will start getting ideas out there, and then I'll go from like treatments and beat sheets to like doing it. I did a treatment recently in 5 days. I don't know how that happened. It was 16 pages. I'm really happy with it. That's unusual for me because I'm a slow writer. And unlike you, it is not easy. I find writing to be both joyful and one of the hardest things possibly to do it well, I think. And I then go and I just go over and over. I'm the sort of writer that will do something and I'll just go over and then I'll go down. And I'm precious with my words in many ways. And I hope that the one I'm working on now, I can get a first draft in like a month. But then again, The Burden of Light took me 12 years. And so my process ebbs and flows with, am I being hard on myself? Am I beating myself up? Are the little voices in my head actually, you know, you have to hush yourself as an artist, I think. That voice inside your head can be so negative, and you have to nurture yourself so much that my process is also a lot of like, it's okay. It's like a lot of self-love is my process, to tell myself it's okay to be insecure and that this too shall pass, and you can walk away and come back and your computer's going to be there hopefully tomorrow working.
Can I ask you, you said it took 12 years for The Burden of Light. What was it particularly about that script that took that amount of time?
Because it goes back and forth so many times, and I researched the heck out of it. Like I researched it so much that there's one point where I know in 1946, there's a character who takes a ship. I know the ship. I know the actual name of the captain that was on the ship. I went through newspapers. I went through learning about the precise aspects of the war. I read books on like the day that the Germans came into Paris in June. And it's just so many years of wanting it to be authentic. And I think you had asked earlier when you cut out a little bit. I'm working with a community of people, the Jewish community, that has had so much happen to them. And you had asked, how do you, I think this is what you asked, how does, as a writer, and I'm not Jewish, how do I handle a community that I'm not a part of? Even though my great uncle was Jewish, I'm Russian Orthodox, baptized. How do you respect the community and make it that they don't feel I've either overstepped or I've done it in a wrong way? So that takes years of having Jewish friends read it, give you notes, and actually give me their blessing. So that's why, and I do research, all the research. So much research.
Stephen, can I ask you about your process?
My process similar to Justin. Still, I'm very
Hisham.
Yeah. Was that his name, Hisham?
Yeah. On Justin's account.
Oh, okay. Sorry, bro. Yeah, I find I love writing. I find it very therapeutic. So and I find it kind of easy. I can start with one character and just go. From there, I just go. It's not, I'm writing was something that was I'm very passionate about. So, and I find it kind of easy to just go from one character to another character to another character, and I can just build. I just build easy. It doesn't really take long. Like I wrote the original, when I wrote the book originally, I wrote it within a few months, less than a few months, and that's constantly why I'm working as well. Like I found it very easy. I kind of find it easy to write. Like I write I've got a lot of writings. And so writing, I find it very easy. It just comes to me naturally. Especially if I'm talking about things I understand, so it makes it even more easier for me. You know, so
how do you get into writing? And this goes to everybody, so.
How did I get into writing?
Yeah.
I used to write a bit when I was younger, but I started writing more when I was in jail. I wrote a lot in jail. While I was in jail, I wrote a lot. I had a lot of time on my hands, a very long time. And so I spent time writing. I spent time writing. This book, this Amagan, I actually wrote when I came out, but I was writing, and I have a passion for writing in jail, and just it's a therapeutic way for me to express myself. So I do write. So I teach writing workshops right now, young people, even parents. It's good to, like Lily said, she keeps a diary. It's good to just write. Sometimes it's really good to just write your thoughts, write your feelings, you know, write your experiences. And I did a lot of that. And that helped me really well. And by doing that, it just makes me easy to write. I can write just quick. Like I really write quick. Just to be honest, I write very quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, same as Stephen. You know, well, started writing, you know, short stories and poetry very young, and then also had a spell in prison. Alexis was in prison as well. I'm going to be blown away.
I was in the Soviet Union during the coup d'etat, so that felt like prison.
But yeah, no, I did a year and just did lots of reading and writing. Wrote my first play when I was in prison, and there was like a drama club, and they said, you know, this reads more like a film. You should think about writing scripts. So I learned the formats for scripts and started that. I mean, that was like 25 years ago, more than that, and been writing since. And had my first success sort of about 12, 15 years ago, and optioned loads of work, but had nothing made. And you know, the process of Alexis, it's so easy to get lost in the system and, you know, nearly get somewhere and be like told, oh, any minute now we're going to invest a shed load of money in your project, and then get told at the last minute, no, I'm sorry, but we don't know you, so you know, we're going to take, and it's just happened so often that, you know, ups and downs. So with this project, I just thought, right, I'm going to make it as cheap as possible, and plan to self-fund, produce, direct, even, you know, act in it as Hass. one of the characters who's big, handsome Moroccan, which I thought I could be. And and I just thought, write something really cheap, and I was kind of budgeted for sort of 100 grand, 150 grand, and it's pretty much 2 locations for the whole film. And and I wrote it, and by the end of it I was just like, wow, this is a big story for such a small budget, lots of drugs and guns, and but you're not really showing it. It's more dialogue than anything else. And I've forgotten the question now. Sorry, I talk so much. And that's it. So I've been writing 20 odd years or more, and haven't stopped. Absolutely love it. It's the best thing in my life. It's my language, and get to write anything. And I love being in control of a little world that you've created. Every single character, I'm the god of what happens to them next. It's not a power thing, but I do enjoy it. And just thinking, I'm getting bored of this one. Oh, they might get run over tomorrow. Or and creating things, and I just love it. It's the best thing in the world.
Alexis, how did you get in?
I'm a very fortunate person. On one side of my family, my dad was a diplomat who ended up being a teacher. And so he would correct my writing in high school. You know that red pen that teachers use to line all your work? Well, he did that, and he would do that 2-3 versions of my papers before they went to the teachers at school. And so he really helped me hone my writing. And then on the other side, my grandfather was a theater owner in LA. They came to Hollywood in 1921, and my grandmother went to acting school at the Pasadena Playhouse, and my grandfather was a documentary filmmaker. So I knew a little bit about the film industry from like the periphery. And then at 14, I was like, wow, screenwriting seems kind of interesting. And my dad and my mom were like, oh shoot, she wants to be in film. And so they asked a couple friends, and they're like, you gotta give her Sid Field's screenplay. So at 14, they slapped that book in front of me. And from that point on, I was kind of taking a childhood love of storytelling, and then had that whiteboard, and I was just outlining scripts as a child. And then just going to college, and then going to LA and being a production assistant on sets in the early 2000s and late 90s. It really all just kind of came together, because I also direct and produce. So it's just been this sort of mishmash of experiences of my family really supporting me, which is, I don't know where I would be without that. I probably wouldn't be sitting here with you if my parents hadn't been like, all right, if you really want to do this, you have to take this seriously, and you have to study it, and you have to work at it, and you have to really just hone your talent. So that's how I started, is that I just, at a very young age, my parents were like, okay, you want in, you hone your talent every single day. And it just snowballed into today.
Can I ask each of you what you have coming up next? What scripts do you have, stories you have next? Anything interesting you want to tell anybody? Start with you, Alexis.
Okay. I'm right now, I'm talking to a couple people about Burden, but Isham, is that how you pronounce your name?
Hisham.
Isham?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a big budget. So I've done a short film called The Gesture and the Word. It went to a lot of festivals, but a lot of people are looking at you like, well, what have you done? And so this budget's too big, so I can't do this as a first feature film. So I've written a romantic comedy that isn't so like sweet and saccharine, that I'm working on. And I'm also working on a psychological thriller, both of which are set in England, actually. So yes, so I'm in love with England. So like, I'd rather live there. And so those are the 2 projects I'm working on, a romantic comedy and a psychological thriller.
sounds great. Stephen, yourself?
I'm actually working on what am I doing in regards to new script?
Yeah, new script projects that you're working on.
I'm focusing on right now script and treatment for a documentary series that I'm doing. It's about Jamaica prison. I recently released a documentary that's doing actually well right now. I recently it's doing very well, streaming on quite a few platforms in America, and on Freeview TV over there as well. And but I'm actually going to turn into a series, so I'm working on that right now. It's about Jamaica prison. I'm actually going to take the series. It's where I was incarcerated, and I'm also aiming to I'm a Gun, which this script here is actually the first book's out, but it's actually a trilogy really. So it's I'm a Gun 2 and I'm a Gun 3. So I'm actually working on that, turning that into script, because it's already written as a book, just hasn't been released, part 2 and part 3. So I'm working on that, turn that into a script.
Can I ask a question? So how was it turning your novel, your book, into a script? How was that process for you?
It was actually really good still. It was fun. It was enjoyable. Turning my book into a script, because having a book there, I kind of visualized everything how I wanted it to be already. So it's pretty easy. My book's pretty descriptive as well. So it was pretty easy for me to then just put it into a script form. So yeah, I'm working on that now. But I'm kind of focusing mainly on the Jamaican series, because that's doing really well right now. Like I said, on live streaming on quite a few channels, and it's kind of doing numbers on Tubi. So Tubi's a live platform in America. It's doing really well on Tubi. So I'm focused on turning that documentary into a series. So that's what I'm actually working on right now.
Can you hear me? Yeah. I'm just going back to some of my older scripts and rewriting them yeah, just a bit better. And there's a couple of them that are kind of linked to this story, and because this story's been so successful in festivals and competitions, I just thought I'd link a few of them together and make a little universe. And so I'm just rewriting to add a little link with a couple of other, well, 4 other films and 1 TV series. And I think in the end it'll be like a little universe based around the characters and themes of War Criminal.
Sounds good. Do any of our actors have any questions for our lovely writers? Yeah.
I got a question for Stephen. You made an animated short. Are you planning on making the whole thing animated?
But to be honest, that's actually that animation was like a test, but it's actually an hour long.
Okay.
I gave you pieces of it.
Wow.
We're actually going to make the animation again, but in a higher quality. So that's actually pieces I gave from the actual movie itself. So it was actually hour and 5 minutes. It's actually an hour and 5 minutes. Sorry, I don't know, my phone's on. It's actually an hour and 5 minutes, the movie, but we're actually gonna redo the movie, and yeah, then the movie's gonna be yeah, then I want to aim is to redo the movie. But like I said, the movie is actually done based on the book itself, but it's a 3-part series. It's a trilogy. There's I'm a Gun 1, I'm a Gun 2, and I'm a Gun 3. So the aim is to technically, yeah, redo the movie in time, because I have the right people to do it, redo the movie, and then yeah, see where it goes from there. That's the aim.
Thank you.
So I'm going to wrap it up now, and can I just ask everybody, I'm going to go around on my grid and just get everyone to shout out their handles so that people can find you. So just let us know where we can find you. And with my top left, Clarissa.
Oh, hey. Yeah, you can find me on Instagram, which my handle is RissaBH, which is RISSABH. or just look up Clarissa Hagan and I should come up. Clarissa B. Hagan actually on there. But very complicated, yeah. But hopefully you find me. Thanks.
Sorry, thank you. Jonathan?
Hello, everybody. Yes, if you want to find me, you just can Google me, Jonathan Hansler, and I will come up all over the bloody place. I'm on Facebook. I am again Jonathan Hansler, and then on Instagram I'm JONHANS 17, and then on Twitter I'm John Hans, JONHANS. And LinkedIn, I really I'm not sure about it. I'm on it, but I couldn't. I'm there somewhere. Yeah. Look up, have a laugh.
That was all too quick, man.
Was it too quick?
I'm trying to take notes. I can't do it that quick. Okay, I'll do it again.
When you got to Instagram, I lost you.
Sorry. That's me, though. That's me. Yeah. Okay. So John Hans, JON. HANS 17 is Instagram. Did you get that? Everyone got that?
Yeah.
If JONHANS is Twitter, and just my normal name is Jonathan Hansler for Facebook, and there's a litany of stuff good and bad out there under my name. I know not. Yeah. With all my stuff on it. Yeah. So yeah, thank you very much. I'm going to pass on to Virginia because I've talked far too much. Thank you.
Hello. Right. I'm on Facebook as Virginia Byron, which is my working name. On Insta, I'm V Byron, VEE Byron. Twitter also at Virginia Byron. And yeah, I'm available for hire if you need me to read your scripts or, I love doing it. I love new writing. I love filmmakers. I love anyone doing anything creative. If you need me, hit me up.
What she said.
What they said.
Lauren?
I'm gonna be the bad one of the group. I ain't got none.
Okay.
I ain't got none, but I'm gonna sort it out. So yeah, I'm a quick one. I ain't got
So
nothing.
hit up Buff if you want to get in contact with Lauren.
Yeah,
Just,
definitely.
Hisham, do you wanna
Yeah, I'm pretty much like you. I've only got one thing I'm on, and that's like Facebook because I'm old. And
I get it.
yeah,
I get it.
Hishi Boy. That's just how long I've had the account for. Hishi Boy is my handle on that. HESHYBOY.
Sorry, what was that?
Wait, say that again.
Hishi Boy. HW. I know, I regretted that.
Rico, why you doing that to Rico?
No.
I know you.
Yeah, that's my Hotmail address. SHYBOY.
Sorry, can you say that again? Sorry, what?
No, I'm not going to say that again.
Can you spell it one more time? Sorry.
No.
Contact Buff, they'll tell you.
All right.
Okay, I go by Alexis, but my full name is Helen Alexis Yanoff. That's HELENALEXIS, and my last name is YONOV. I'm that on Facebook and I'm that on Instagram.
And you've got a website.
And I have a website. I do, HelenAlexisYanoff.com. I do have a website.
Brilliant.
Thank you.
That's right. I saw it the other day.
Stephen? You're muted.
Oh, yeah. My website is Stephen with a PH, STEPHEN, StephenGrahamProjects.com, and Instagram is Stephen Graham Projects, Twitter Stephen Graham Projects, and yeah, everything's just Stephen Graham Projects.
Brilliant. And then Rico,
Can I outdo Hisham?
Yeah, come on, man. I've got some things to say once you say yours.
No, I'm gonna stay away from my old Facebook name, but It's just Rico, RICO, Morris, MORRIS 2020 on all digital platforms, as they say. So Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. I don't really use TikTok.
Oh, you just confessed, bro.
Do you know, I joined because I was told I had to, and then yeah, I just don't really like it. I'm on LinkedIn as well, Rico Morris. Facebook, Rico Morris. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, everybody, for spending time with us, for going through the scripts, for reading the scripts, for writing the script. They are amazing.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Muriel.
actors. Super. Thank you, other winners.
Thank you.
Good job, guys.
Cool.
Good one.